Oh, howdy, I didn't see you there. Is it time for science class already? Well, alright, gather round. Today we're going to talk about two galaxies caught in a cosmic love affair. They're called M81 and M82, and they're locked in this duet up in the sky. They're very close to each other, and they even almost collided once, which had huge effects on their shapes and, well, and their hearts. You see, they can't get away from each other like a man and a woman, like me and my lady. M81 is this beautiful woman, see? She's perfect. She has these spiral arms that stretch all the way into her center. M82 is this calloused, wounded mess. He's been shot one too many times with the arrow of love, but we're good at hiding our suffering, me and M82.
It does not look like anything really is going on. It looks like an edge-on spiral galaxy, although we can't really see very much into it. And next to it, but some distance away, is this very beautiful M81, which is a grand design spiral galaxy, which itself has got a lot of press because it looks nice.
That's the voice of my good friend Min Yun, professor of astronomy at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. He's going to help me with the lesson today. So, while M81 looks beautiful, M82 is this big, ugly blob of stars exploding with rage.
M82, the exploding galaxy.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. Our story takes place in the local Virgo supercluster, which is kind of like our county of Williamsburg, Kansas. Williamsburg has 100 towns, like the Virgo supercluster has 100 galaxy groups and clusters. People like to form into towns, and towns join into counties. Galaxies form into groups and sometimes clusters, and groups and clusters form into superclusters. Here in our little town of Bumpkintown, Kansas, me and my gal live right next to each other, with no one around for miles and miles. Just like M81 and M82 up in the sky. They're so close, they're only 100,000 light years from each other. That's like me and my lady living right next door to each other in Kansas with no one else around for miles and miles. Yet her and I practically share a driveway. Now, when you put a man like me and a beautiful woman like her next to each other, they're bound to cross each other's paths and change each other's lives. But for now, we stay in our own respective ends of the cornfield. She has yet to come into my house and my life, but she will eventually. M81 and M82 are also apart from each other, but very close, and they promise a certain future union. But for now, they still stay separate. Separate, like me and my lady, that coy femme fatale. She refuses to admit that our destinies are bound, but let me tell you about our story. I was out walking, headed to my favorite hunting spot. I saw a figure in the distance. I saw it was a woman. I gravitated towards her. She gravitated towards me too, I guess, but I guess I felt the pull more. I approached, we saw each other. It was love at first sight for me. I offered her my hand and she pushed me away. I guess I wasn't enough of a force to reckon with her. We just couldn't get close. She, cold goddess, took a few steps back, but I ran home, destroyed with emotion and despair. Wait, I'm going somewhere with this. I haven't forgot our lesson. M82 and M81 were just the same. They met once, long ago, about 2 to 5 million years ago. And they almost collided and merged, but then they separated again, and now stay a distance apart until the next time they'll meet.
Because they haven't quite merged. They had a nice glancing blow, just enough of a whack to cause all kinds of trouble, but not, whacking each other enough to turn into a complete mess.
So they didn't merge that last time. They just came close enough to affect each other, but not close enough to make them collide.
It's like a Goldilocks. You have to come to just the right distance to produce all the nice features. If you're too close, they just stick and turn into a mess. Too far, there's not enough of a collision to cause any kind of activities. It was just the right distance.
Just close enough to feel the effect, but not close enough for their union to be complete. Me and my love came close enough for me to long for her, but not close enough for her to love me. I guess I was just bowled over by the experience, but she was left cold towards me. She's just too much of a woman, so much bigger than little old me.
So, exactly same amount of force whacked M81 and M82. But M81 is 5 to 10 times bigger than M82. So even with the same amount of force being applied to these two objects, because M82 is smaller, it basically got shredded. Well, M81 felt that, oh, I felt that, and it formed these beautiful spiral arms.
So the interaction left M82 a big blob of stars, totally deformed, just like my heart was by that woman. But M81 came out even more beautiful than before. As Min told us, it's actually the gravity of M82 that gives M81 its perfect shape. As if my gazing gave the lady her perfect face.
So this interaction explains the beautiful spiral arms in M81 as well as mangling and rearranging, and then subsequent burst explosion in M82.
Burst explosions in M82, Min says. You see, galaxies are made up of a lot of free-form gas. When the gas gets copious and very dense, a lot of star formation takes place. All these new stars get formed all the time. After its encounter with M81, M82 was compressed. All that gas got closer together, and M82 just exploded with star forming activity. M82 is an exploding galaxy.
Exploding galaxy? How could it be? How does a galaxy explode? It's a big thing. You know, big things don't explode.
Neither do I, technically, but I felt my insides boiling just like the inside of M82. Light and heat shoots out of M82, making it extremely bright and almost visible with the naked eye. Where does all that light come from? Well, a combination of things. Star formation gives off light, and they spew out a lot of dust too, and light reflects off of this dust. Light is also produced by supernova, that is, dying stars.
When they analyze the data, it looks like M82 had something like 1 million supernovae going up in its center, all at once.
Actually, all this energy gets kind of funneled out of M82's sides because it can't go out the ends. There's too much material in the way. It gets shot out the sides instead, and this is called bipolar outflow. It's kind of like water going through a hose. It can only escape through the open end, and having been constrained, it pours out with a lot of force.
So as in the movies, when something explodes, things shoot out, right? There are really pretty pictures of M82 now available, and some of the material you see is actually an ejecta, or stuff that are thrown out but at very, very high speed, like 1 million miles an hour.
Me, I was releasing all my energy in the form of cuss words. Dagnabbit. I sometimes wonder how she's doing. I wonder if she thinks about me, if she was affected too. I know M81 was, even though it doesn't look like it at first. As I said before, this perfect shape was caused by M82's presence. And if you look closely at her, you'll see little streaks of shadowy gas where M82's gravity pulled in M81. You know, M81 and M82 will join one day. They'll continue on their path and eventually meet again, this time meeting more slowly. They'll merge together and become one elliptical galaxy. Sure, M81 will lose its beauty, M82 will lose its independence, but hey, that's marriage for you. And I can't wait till that holy day when me and my girl will meet again and become one under the eyes of God and the church and state of Kansas in holy matrimony and make little stars together. Yee-haw!